Alright, so here we are, the book, Thinking from Imagination. So far it's actually my favorite book that I've ever written, and I'm able to share with you right now because it's a very powerful book, even though I say so myself. I put it like that because the idea here is that thinking from imagination means a whole new way of thinking altogether about the potential we possess and how we can go about achieving our dreams. I made some mention in the previous book, The Miracle of Wanting, that we should think from imagination, but now with this book I specifically want to go down deep into this idea so you have a better understanding of what it actually means when you're going to think from your imagination, because it's such, again, a powerful concept. So let's go over the introduction in this audio file. It starts out, for centuries now, humanity has been advised that they should learn to control their own thinking. Time and time again, we hear that power to realize our dreams lies within ourselves. We might be familiar with certain quotes, like one from the Buddha. We are shaped by our thoughts, we become what we think. If we want to apply this wisdom shared throughout the ages, it becomes an interesting question to ask ourselves what would happen if our thoughts become guided by our imagination. After all, our goals and ambitions are often described as dreams. A dream is something that isn't visible in the current physical reality, but somewhere inside our minds we become conscious of what it means and how it would improve our lives were this dream to come true. Through this book I want to share with you an idea that has helped me tremendously, in the hopes that it will give you a powerful method in realizing your own dreams as well. We must learn to think from imagination. If we become the very thing we think about, approaching our lives from imagination, in essence, holds a very powerful potentiality to improve everything in life altogether. I know this to be true from personal experience. The purpose of this book is to show you how you can work with the same power in your own life, so your dreams aren't clouded by doubts. Instead, they will be seen as fantastic goals that you can surely achieve in order to improve your own life and ultimately the whole world. Many people are of the opinion that only certain individuals are creative, for example, musicians, writers, painters, etc. But this is not true. We are all creative. The problem lies in the fact that most people use their own creativity to build limitations inside their own minds. This book will show you how to avoid all of this, so you can learn to use your own mind effectively. Just like my previous book, The Miracle of Wanting, it is expected that the reader goes over the material multiple times in order to develop a deeper understanding of their own potential. Though the book might appear small for something holding such a great premise, regardless of its size, I know it contains powerful ideas that will ultimately help you develop new insights concerning the power of your imagination. Now, as you're going to go through this book, because these audio files will contain additional information for each chapter that you won't find in the written text, again, you gotta contemplate all these ideas for yourself and really think about what it means. This is not a fictional book. So you shouldn't just listen to it without really thinking about the information. It's once you start to think about these ideas and think about what it can mean for you that your life can really transform into something better. So again, since you already have the Miracle of Wanting coaching program as well, I'm sure you understand what I mean, that when I say repetition is the key to learning. So go over the material, write down anything that inspires you, underline anything if you got the book printed out, that is. If not, just write it in a different text or in a journal. Lines that really stood out to you, and that way you can contemplate what it actually means for you, so wisdom starts to develop. You can do and achieve anything in life if you work with the mind. You can go beyond time and space, since everything in life are ideas and concepts of the mind. Place your attention inwardly on what you want and obey it, and it will be expressed over a so-called period of time automatically, with and through you. Don't worry or focus on the physical side of it so much, or it might cause doubts or a tendency to hurry. You already possess the essence of any dream within your heart. Embrace that essence and let it flow with and through you. This is ultimately what causes results to change. I wrote these words after deep meditation. I woke up into this physical world again. And then I felt compelled to write these words and put them in the book for you to read as well. Because it's very interesting when you think about it, when you imagine your dream, your goal, something that you want to achieve, that is in fact the essence, as I state in the text, of your dream. The essence already resides within you. Now you want to make it a reality so everybody else and you yourself can experience it through your senses. But we're going to dedicate a chapter to that as well. What is the purpose of the physical world? It's a very interesting chapter for you to study as well, because in it I basically describe some ideas that will tie into why your vision is in a sense the essence of your dream, and therefore it explains the purpose of the physical world while we're at it. So it might sound a bit mind-boggling right now, but once you get to the chapter, I think you'll understand it, because it's a very interesting stuff. This whole book basically is going to get down to a much more spiritual level of your own potential. So let's go over the first bit of material here in chapter 1, a rough concept. Now the starting point of our dreams happens inside. It occurs inside our minds. Whenever you start to dream of something, whether it be a goal or something you want to make happen, you can feel it. It's like a burning flame of pure passion within your soul. I know I want to have, do, or achieve this. Then we might run into a problem. What if my dream is so big I can't do anything about it? What if my dream is so big I don't even have the means in my current condition to achieve it? Is there still hope for such a person? Hope that the dream they hold, the dream that's burning through heart and soul, can still become a reality. The good news is, yes, there is hope, because a reality is determined by those who dare to dream to begin with. Are you part of this category? You know, the category of people that dare to dream and discover how they can turn dreams into reality. If not, I'm assuming you want to become part of this group. We're going to make that happen with the ideas shared in this book. It doesn't matter what your dream is, what your goal is. We all have the same potential. The question remains, are we making effective use of the potential that was given to us? As far as we know, only mankind has the power to imagine. As I'm writing these words, I'm reminded of the fact we can see animals respond to stuff when they are sleeping. This shows they do possess an imagination, but it's only humankind that was given the power to use their imagination for a purpose, to deliberately create a new reality of some sorts. I want you to really think about this. You're one of those creatures that possess this power. What could this mean for you and the quality of your life? No words can describe it for me on paper, because everyone dreams of having and achieving something else. What we want to realize is that we do have this potential within us. Your dream, your goal, starts inside your mind. Its starting point is a rough concept. You know what you want, but many times we just leave it at that. Our dreams can seem highly unrealistic from our current perspective, so there's all the more reason to just let it go. Why? Have you ever done this with your own goals? I have. Your imagination allows you to create your own circumstances. The power that needs to be applied starts within yourself, through your imagination. From that point on, you can express whatever is needed on the physical side of life. Everything you need in order to realize your dream comes to you automatically. You will receive inspiration and motivation as time goes on, and once you look back at it, you can see the concepts of your imagination have turned into reality. Not a lot of people are aware of this. If they have a goal and doubt whether they can achieve it, that proves that they are not using their imagination in the right way. Just pretend for a moment your imagination is a domain that functions beyond current reality. Thinking from imagination literally means having the ability to let your thoughts be guided by the domain of imagination. If one can do this, what happens exactly? You'll become conscious of new ideas within your own mind. This is the ultimate and almost magical work you're called upon to perform. Your dream resides within your mind, not tied to the current reality at all. Your thoughts in this very moment are probably led by old habits and convictions concerning your own potential. Once you learn to let your thoughts be guided by imagination, a whole new world of potential opens up to you. As I like to remind people, the realization of your dream is done by some bigger, better version of yourself. When in doubt, you're essentially approaching your dream from a place of old convictions. Once you believe in yourself and your dream, however, You'll mentally melt together with the sort of person you'd need to be in order to realize your dream on Earth. You'll transform into the sort of person the realization of your own dream is dependent upon. If we can feel and see ourselves in possession of what we want, we transform ourselves into the sort of person that can also realize the dream. A dream that has been realized is nothing more than a result. Your current results reflect your current beliefs. Change the ideas you believe in and your whole life will transform into something else. It is through your imagination you'll be able to do just that. Up until this point you might have thought in limitations. You might have let other people's negative ideas lodge into your mind. In many cases, this means we're not deliberately functioning from the domain of imagination. The average person never stops and considers this potential within them, let alone has an idea it even exists. Analyze the things you now believe. Are they really the truth about your potential? Do you really have to live the way you are living, or is there a lot more possible for you? People with a dream believe that there are more possibilities for them, and they work with the intent to prove it. They function from imagination. The dream influences their thinking in such a way that they attract new ideas through which they can turn their dreams into reality. People that can't seem to achieve their dreams are letting current perceptions, limitations, and doubts stop them. Which group do you want to join? If you're reading this book, then I know you want to belong to the first group of people. Again, measure your own beliefs and ask yourself, are these convictions, these doubts, these perceptions, the real truth of my own being? I am conscious of a goal, a dream I want to achieve. Are my current beliefs helping me out or not? In many cases, they are detrimental. This is how the journey began for me, the idea alone. Thinking from imagination sounds absolutely bizarre at first. Still, I kept practicing these ideas. I kept focusing on my imagination, on my dream. I let the vision in my mind slowly but surely dominate my whole being, and that is when I discovered my beliefs started to change. Likewise, a change of ideas started to occur within my mind, and I started to see how I could achieve my own dreams. This is the creative process you should follow as well. You start out in imagination with a vision of what you want. Then you have to adjust yourself according to the vision so you can give expression to the dream on earth. As in heaven, so it is on earth holds a lot of meaning for me these days. We have to become comfortable with change. The realization of every dream asks for a certain amount of change. Grab a pen and paper. Write out your dream. What does it all mean? Well, here are a few examples. I want to start my own company. I want to be a musician. I want to be an actor. I want to be rich. I want to be healthy. I want to be financially independent. Whatever your goal may be, write it down. It starts as a rough concept, but through concentration, we can discover and write out deeper aspects of this dream. You want to mentally place yourself in a position you can literally see what you would be doing and see how you would be living your dream a reality. This will cause your desires for achievement to increase dramatically. Now this is a process that will override old convictions. Eventually the newly formed desires shall take the upper hand. If you're imagining without an emotional response, you're not imagining with enough power. You have to make sure the imagination invokes a strong emotional response within yourself, so old thinking patterns and convictions become replaced altogether. I do this constantly myself. In the case of my own company, I had to imagine what it would be like. I imagined a room full of people and sharing these powerful ideas with them. I imagined my coaching program will help other people develop more insights into their own potential. All of this started inside my imagination as a rough concept, which I started to give detailed form by using my imagination. Then it was just a matter of time before I became inspired on what I should do in order to get closer to the realization of my dream. We might start out with nothing, but through imagination you can unleash a desire within yourself, a desire for improved and much better results. Do you know what happens then? If you truly desire to achieve your dream, it will cause all doubts to disappear from your mind. Doubt comes from a feeling of uncertainty. If you truly desire to realize your dream, you can notice a change in your own emotions. And so the feeling of uncertainty are replaced by a burning desire for the achievement of your goal. This is what we want to achieve. This state of being will work wonders for any goal. You can always think of your dream, but do you also desire its achievement? You can think of success, whatever that means for you, but do you truly desire to have it? Thinking about what you want sporadically is simple. The true magic comes into view when we can invoke an emotional response from the depths of our own being. In my book, The Miracle of Wanting, I explained it's difficult to think about what we want. Now I'm telling you it's simple. What I mean is that we all have dreams within our soul. We can all think about it, but it can be difficult for people to let the dream dominate their minds if they're not used to functioning like this. It becomes easier once you understand that you only have to magnify your own desires, so old ideas get removed from your mind. Let's imagine the following scenario. You're in a desert. You want to make a fire now that the sun is going down so you won't be too cold. You need a few branches or some wood, some grass and some matches to light it. Alright, so far so simple. Let the branches represent your dreams. Let the fire be symbolic for the strength of your desires. A weak fire stands for weak desires. You can achieve all your dreams if you increase the flames of desire. Unleash your imagination. Actually have the courage to see and feel how your life would improve if your dreams were now a reality. If you do this correctly, I can guarantee you that a strong emotional reaction will follow. And it's this emotional impulse you receive that guides you towards the actions you would have to take in order to turn your dream into a reality. Thinking about what you want without an emotional response is pointless. It's a waste of time. They call this daydreaming. If you think I'm talking about this, you misunderstood. What I'm trying to get you to do is to start thinking from imagination. A daydream is like a dream you observe without any intent to do something about it. The true power in the act of dreaming lies in your being curious enough about the same dream, till you can learn to think from that place where your dreams are coming from. This will then help you realize the dream over a period of time. As you can see, there's a huge difference between daydreaming and thinking from imagination. If you think this is too good to be true, it's even more bizarre that you can even read these words. Think about it. Isn't it strange that your consciousness can imagine beyond the entire physical realms of life? There's so much stuff out there in the universe that goes beyond our comprehension. We simply accept the mysteries of the universe as being unknown territory. But once we start thinking about ourselves, we accept all sorts of limiting ideas. None of this is necessary. I'm certain you can achieve your dreams. I know your mind operates in the same manner as my own, and what I have found is that by completely giving ourselves over to our imagination, we put ourselves into a position to express the very dreams of our heart. In other words, we turn the abstract fantasy into a concrete reality through our own actions and turn the dream into a reality. I really like that quote. I actually made it up for this book, but it's such an awesome thing to say. You and I, we want to turn the abstract fantasy, we want to turn your abstract fantasy into a concrete reality through your actions. That is how you turn the dream into a reality. Think about it. That's the goal here with this book. We can all act on the ideas when we really believe in them. If you don't believe you can achieve something, why would you even bother? What would happen if we start to believe in our dreams? If you truly are capable of believing that you can achieve whatever you want, if that happens, current circumstances won't matter any longer. You will outgrow these aspects of your life and receive in physical form the very thing you dreamed of inside your imagination. It's because of this fact I'm able to talk to anyone about achieving their dreams. I know it all starts inside, and we simply want to learn how this process works. How does imagination turn into reality? Let's first ask ourselves what reality even is. We call the things we can observe around us reality. In many cases, we just accept the physical world the way it is. But if we turn a dream into reality, the same reality changes around, which proves that the current reality never really mattered at all. It never showed any evidence of our real potential. Do you dare to believe in your own imagination? If so, you'll discover that you can realize more and more dreams on Earth. The results you manifest in your life are led by the inner world of thought and emotion. Through imagination, you can heavily influence these two aspects within yourself. And then you'll discover in thought new ideas start to occur. And through emotions, a new belief system develops within yourself concerning what is and what isn't possible for you. Which way of living would you rather follow? A life full of doubts or a life where you believe in your own imagination? Which of the two will bring the most satisfaction? A life with satisfaction means you'll be living your dreams, achieving whatever you want, because this is your true purpose for being on this earth. You're currently alive to turn your dreams into a reality. These dreams will not only benefit you, but will be to the benefit of many others as well. You cannot escape it. Once you start living your own dreams, it will automatically inspire others to live their dreams as well. It will inspire others to find the way, to figure out how they can achieve their own goals in life. The better you understand the concept of thinking from imagination, the more effective you'll become at working on your own dreams and your ability to share these concepts with others. It's through this method the whole world will develop a deeper understanding of their potential. The rough concepts of our minds become clearer to us once we trust our imagination. Your imagination will bring the right ideas to you. Then you'll be able to write down these ideas and execute them. Once this happens, you can literally see your imagination turn into reality. Most people aren't raised with these ideas. Believe in my imagination? It's a complete abstract domain that isn't bothered by the so-called physical reality of life. Isn't that where your dream resides? We always dream of something that is beyond our current reality. If we learn to trust our imagination, the place where all our dreams reside and come from, we'll discover we do have the power to shift our reality according to our own dreams. This is what you truly desire to discover. If that wasn't the case, you'd never have any dreams you wanted to achieve. Without dreams, our life would be like waking up every day, staring at the outside world without doing anything at all. But we humans don't function like that. We are always driven by visions beyond our current reality. It's like a deeper part of our minds is daring us to make it happen. Once we obey our hearts, we discover more and more about our potential as human beings, turning our lives into a bigger and bigger adventure for us all. Observe your dreams. Don't let it be a rough, unclear concept. Don't allow your own doubts to analyze your dream. You have to be curious about your dreams. What would it really mean if they were to become a reality? How would your life improve? Awaken the dreamer within and let him guide your life. You can change all thinking patterns once your imagination takes over. This all happens automatically once you trust in your imagination. How can you trust in your imagination? It all depends on the amount of experience you have. The more you work with this potential, the easier it becomes to trust in it. Test it out. Imagine yourself in possession of your dream. Concentrate on the dream and you'll discover new ideas will float into your mind. Once you keep practicing this, it'll become easier to trust the process. At first this all might seem abstract, which it is. We are working with inner potentials of the mind that aren't visible to the naked eye. The results you'll be getting, however, will be visible to your eyes. Once you're guided by imagination and start to think from this domain, your results will change. And once this happens, you and everybody else can see that something has changed. It starts inside ourselves. Remember this. Our goal is to overcome all obstacles in our lives by consciously learning to exercise our imagination. We don't want to be dependent on the physical world. Instead, we want the physical world to obey our imagination. This shows we have an enormous responsibility, and as long as an individual doesn't believe this or obey it, they will keep running into obstacles which might seem insurmountable to them. A person living in poverty might believe they need a job in order to improve their life. This is a physical illusion. Don't get me wrong though, there's nothing wrong with a job as long as it's tied to your own true passions in life. In many cases, the jobs just serve to provide money for people. Money is just another one of those physical things of life. The real invisible cause for the phenomena of the physical world needs to be clearly understood so we can exercise our powers. Can I imagine I'm rich while physically I'm living in poverty? Anybody can. And then the question becomes, can this imaginary vision really make me rich? And though this is where the conflict starts, what would be your answer to this? If you're not confident in saying the answer out loud to yourself, I'll give it to you. For most people this would sound absurd, or too good to be true. Regardless of previous convictions, you can test this out for yourself and see what happens. If imagination can influence reality as well as create it, then we shouldn't be doubting our own powers. And as long as we do, it's the only reason why it seems so difficult to adjust ourselves to our dream. If we start our own business, we can't imagine having a normal job. Instead, we'll become the ones that provide the income by our own created forms of service. Where does the inspiration to create these services come from? Our imagination. You can see there's multiple ways open to you. My goal with this book is to make you conscious of this inner road that exists within your imagination. Once you enter this road, you'll discover how you can consciously create results and manifest whatever you want, however you want. Now, don't be afraid to express your own imagination on earth. Our imagination is the invisible cause of everything that is created. Don't be afraid of what other people think about what you create. True happiness lies hidden within your own magnificent imagination. It is the source that shall free you from all obstacles. So here we have a lot of material for you to go over. A lot of contemplation in this first chapter alone. That's usually how I start off. Go right to the deep end of the whole message and then bring people up to more shallow concepts that still tie to this deeper aspect that you just heard about. So again, this takes a lot of thinking on your part and really contemplate some of the questions that I asked throughout this chapter concerning your belief system and what you currently believe and whether it's really serving you or not. It's a very interesting question to ask yourself. If, for example, you want to be rich, but you don't believe you can't be rich, now then ask yourself, why do I even believe I can't be rich? And then write it out. You have to write out your belief so you can actually look at it and see whether it actually makes any sense at all. Maybe you believe stuff that doesn't make any sense, and it's only once you start to observe your beliefs you might discover this is the case, because for many people it is the case, even for me. When I was growing up and stuff, there might have been belief systems in my own mind that didn't make any sense whatsoever. So that's the only way for us to change them, once we start to understand and grasp what's going on inside our minds at this very moment, and then we decide we're going to change all that by using the ideas shared throughout this coaching program.